This is Mongolian Mindset, and today we're going to be doing another tier list. We're going to be talking about people with the most EQ of the MBT I types. You guys know how we always say, like, the last tier list, you may have been at the top, but on this tier list, you might be at the fucking bottom, okay? And when it comes to EQ, I gotta admit to myself, I can say it because facts don't give a fuck about Mercer's feelings. Facts don't give a fuck. I'm a beluga whale, okay? I'm at the bottom here when it comes to EQ, okay? Me and Zara was laughing just last night about an EQ situation that I just totally fucked up. And I'm just like, holy fuck. But one day you're up, the next day you're fucking bottom, okay? When it comes to all the tier lists that we've been doing. So enjoy your time while you're on top. The last time the INTPs were on the top for the most intellectual. Today they will not be there. I can promise you that. Thomas, Zara, anything you guys want to say before we get into it?
No, well, let's just get into the metrics for the criterion for our EQ
All right, guys.
slides.
So you guys are aware that we are NTJs here, so we're not good with EQ. So we actually came up with some points that we want to go off of, right? EQ is not kindness, not emotionality. It's the ability to accurately perceive, interpret, regulate, predict, and respond to emotional states, both internal and external. So when you're looking at internal, guys, you know what the fuck that is. That's FI. You know what the external is. That's fucking FE. Okay, it shouldn't be hard. I mean, if you're struggling with that, then you probably just need to just click off this channel and go back to personality dummy base so you can be stupid somewhere else. But that breaks into five core capacities: emotional perception, reading others, FE, clear as day, cut and paste, emotional self awareness, right? Emotional regulation, I would say those two are tied to FI, and then emotional prediction, okay? Second order and third order effects, guys, okay? So that's looking at the chain and how it goes down. That's going to be your NI and NE. Okay. And then you have your emotional influence and calibration. Like, how adaptable are you with that? Okay. And how can you influence people?
Um,
Anything you guys want to say before we go ahead and jump straight into it about that? Anything, T?
yeah, it will be completely vice versa this list. Whatever you thought you were, if you thought you were on top of the world in the last video, now you're going to be on the bottom for the list.
Yeah.
And vice versa. If you felt a little jaded about last video, you'll feel pretty good at coming out of this. So
Yeah. I mean, we get a lot of people that like, well, Mercer, man, you guys make the bottom like so bad. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck you expect this to be, man? Like,
well,
yo,
it's
like,
these are supposed to be fun lists for one.
yeah, it's
So
supposed to be fun.
and
Like, come on.
number two, each type has their set of strengths and weaknesses. We're just discussing one dichotomy,
Yeah. Yeah.
and EQ is the main subject criterion today. So
Yeah.
you'll enjoy this video
All
and
right,
give it a
guys.
like. You
Yeah, yeah.
guys better like it and subscribe.
All
Like
right.
and subscribe, bitches. All right.
So at the top, S tier, we got the human radar, guys. Okay, this is, I mean, pretty clear. These are going to be the people at the top, right? They can do this in their sleeps. Most likely a NF, but let's keep going. So emotionally calibrated, these people understand emotions pretty well. They understand themselves pretty well. They have no
Mm-hmm.
problem, perceiving what's going on around them or inside themselves, right? And then you have the people that are average, right? Can read the room. Okay, so they can notice, they can walk in the room and read it. Okay, and then you have emotionally brain dead. Okay, I'm down there, I would say. And then you have whale shit, absolute bottom, beluga whale. Uh, Thomas, Zara, who wants to start at spearing the whale today?
Um, let's do with okay. I guess I'll
Well,
take over if you unless you want to go, Tom.
it doesn't matter. I think we think we all agree and we all know who's on the bottom.
Go ahead, T. Give it to us.
Well, I'd say INTJ without question is going to be one of the bottom types. There might be two down there, but I'd say that they're at the absolute worst. Between having being pragmatic, being FE trickster, they're going to really struggle to when it comes to like reading the room, understanding how people feel. And I think often when people talk about empathy, they kind of they misunderstand how we mean it. The way I would describe it is FE Trickster as well as FE Demon, we're not really going to take people's feelings into consideration when we make a decision. It's really an afterthought, and if people don't tell us how they feel, often we're just not going to know. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, and then also like in terms of like the metrics that we're using, compared to, for instance, like ISTJs, INFJs, I mean, I'm sorry, INTJs, they have they have poor emotional regulation. Um, like whereas like what I've noticed with ISTJs is their FI can get hurt, but they don't really react. They just kind of like, they kind of just curl up in a ball. They wince away. They're generally not going to react though. If you hurt an INTJ's FI, they're very much more likely to lash out at you. And although people have this online stereotype that INTJs are, oh, we're unemotional robots or whatever bullshit they believe, it's pretty much completely false. Arguably one of the most emotional types, to be honest. Um,
Yeah.
So I don't know if
Yes.
anybody wants to add to that. Just sure, there's a lot we could talk about.
Go ahead, Z.
Yeah.
Z.
Yeah, so I think again, I think the FI child in us is can be quite conterminous. I think it I think it go pretty catatonic. I, I think I think for INTJs, this, like you were saying, especially with the pragmatic side, it really explodes on like ISTJs because ISTJs are more pegged towards the group. So they're more affiliative. So they regulate themselves because they want to maintain an image
hmm
within the group in this in a stasis. Where INTJs, when their vision's off kilter, they all hell breaks loose. And
They'll
yeah,
start
that's
burning it down.
yeah, they'll start burning everything down around them
Yeah, because
as
FI
as a
child's
demon
hurt.
mode.
Okay. So I'll just add to it. So first of all, the NI hero, so they're very fucking tunnel vision, right?
Mm-hmm.
They only see what's in front of their fucking face. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They can see whatever's in front of their face, but they can see it deeply. Okay. Anything that's outside of it, they can't fucking see. Okay. So that goes you, your mama, your sister, your brother, your auntie, your cousins. They ain't seeing nothing that's around them, right? So they can't even perceive how they would feel, right? Because they're so tunneled in. And then at the same time, they're thinking about, what's their next five moves, right? That's just how they're thinking. Like, oh, like when I leave this event, like I got so much work I gotta do, or like, what am I gonna do tomorrow, or like, how am I gonna be prepared for this unknown situation that I know I'm gonna have to handle in 5 days or something like that. Their brains always think about that, so they're not in tune to like how other people feel around them, right? They definitely have that me syndrome, all about me, and what I want all the time, to the point that like they'll just close off and they'll just disappear from your life. Okay, if you start like you know making that harder for them to do. I think what they're talking about with the emotional explosion, I don't give a damn what you say. Every NT is super sensitive. Every NT is super sensitive. You have to be very careful about what you fucking say, especially to an NTJ, because they will never fucking forget it. Okay, they will replay that bitch in their head over and over and over. Okay, until they can make you
Yeah.
fucking eat those fucking words that you said. Okay, so when it
Yes.
comes to our EQ scale, we're putting INTJs down there as a beluga whale, a humpback, spermback, whatever you want to fucking call it. Um, so
Mm-hmm.
who else do we want to put down here? Sorry.
Oh, ENTJ easily.
Yeah,
Who's worse,
They're
ENTJ or INTJ?
I would say probably INTJ because
Yeah.
I think
INTJs.
E-
It takes the cake.
ENTJs, because they at least have some awareness when it comes to reading the room.
Hmm.
Because FE Demon I think is at least a little bit better than FE Trickster.
Hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
think what also hurts INTJs is that so many of them they're shut-ins. They don't really socialize. Not all of them, obviously, but a lot of them are that way. Whereas ENTJs are, in general, they're going to get much more experience with people, socializing, and so on and so forth. So if you don't use it, you lose it. And a lot of INTJs, they don't really, if they practice more, they would be a lot better. But a lot of them don't.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, I agree with everything you said.
yeah, I think the one thing about ENTJs, the difference is if your hero function is extroverted, then your extroverted functions are gonna be better. If you're introverted, then your introverted functions are going to be better. Like he says, like Thomas said, because they're TE DOMs, they're interacting with the world so much, and because they're interacting with the world so much, they're picking up some of these skills passively. right? And that's gonna help them with reading the fucking room or like understanding how somebody else feels. But what you will see is that they're not afraid to get nasty with you. The
Mm-hmm.
ENTJ is not going to
Yep.
be afraid to get nasty with you. And I will say, when it comes to like emotionally erupting and stuff,
Yeah.
ENTJ is most likely more likely to erupt than an INTJ because of the FI child to FI inferior. Everything that an ENTJ sees or feels is like a personal attack to them. So
Mm-hmm.
you got to be fucking very careful with them. And once they feel attacked, they say when somebody go low, I go to hell. That's the type of thing they do. Like when somebody go low, they go into hell. So if you say something that they perceive as a personal attack, guarantee you they going all the way down to the bottom with you. Okay.
Uh-huh. Yep.
So that's one thing you have to see with them. So yeah, that's why we got them down here at well shit, guys. And like we say, you might be up today on the tier list, but the next one that we make, you're probably at the fucking bottom. Okay, you never know where you're gonna end up, and I'm sure we're gonna have a debate at the end here. So who we putting at the top? S tier guys.
S tier INFP is takes the cake.
Okay, T, you want what do you think about INFP?
We might have to debate it. I mean, I definitely think they're towards the top. Because I mean, according to the metrics we're using, I think they're great at some things, but maybe on one or two of them, maybe not as great. But I think we could put them there for now and talk about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's between them or INFJ, to be honest.
yeah,
But
yeah. I would say that they are at the human radar because they have FI Hero and then they also have that NE. And the NE just allows them to look at multiple different perspectives and not just lock in on one. So over time, they actually learn a lot about people and humans. And then also that listening time, that large listening time
Hmm.
is just amazing as well. And just that open-mindedness to everything. I think a lot of times that I get this Jesus-like aura around INFPs. Like they're never, I almost feel like they're never really judging you because they're so open-minded about everything. Um, and they know it's different strokes
that's
for different folks. Even though the FI hero, and people would say,
especially with around moral issues, a completely different case. They're
yeah.
usually more set in stone on those.
Well, they're set in stone about theirs, but they don't really like try to push it too much outwardly. Like they can like see
Yeah.
like where you would come from based off like your
Yeah.
circumstances and all of that type of stuff with that NE.
Yeah.
And then they're also like learning like more things about the world to like challenge their own FI. So generally
Mm-hmm.
speaking, they become pretty damn good. And then they have the NE and NI in a pretty good spot, so they can use that second order effect and third order effect pretty well. So I think at the top here we got INFP. So you guys think INFJ? What do you guys
Well,
want to do?
can I just say maybe a couple things
Yeah.
just about INFPs? When it comes to understanding morals, I mean, without question, they are the top. If I want to understand FI or learn about morals, no one's going to explain it better than an INFP. I mean, I've had many conversations. But my question, though, would be I just wonder if SE Trickster inhibits their ability to read the room. And I would say the same thing about ENFPs and their SE Demon. I think it can be kind of a hindrance. And although INFPs might be at the top, I think that INFJs and ENFJs with their higher SE might make them better in certain areas. So that would just be my question.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's a fair point. Now, what do you think about that, Z?
Yeah, I think there's something to that. I think in terms of in the moment, I think that INFJs are probably better, but I don't know
Yeah,
if they're as good internally.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
question because the criterion is also not just regulating the external environment, it's also about regulating your internal emotions. INFJs, their FI is a lot of times is
dangerous.
pretty parasitic
Yeah,
Hmm.
to
it's pretty
them
dangerous. Yeah,
themselves.
yeah.
That FI critic, it usually attacks them internally, so that
Mhm.
causes a lot of uh that disrupts their inner
It,
harmony a
it
bit.
can eat them alive. I mean, to be
Yeah,
Yeah.
honest,
yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's
bad.
like the worst. I think it's the worst critic
for
you can
sure.
have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
that I'd say even more so with INFJs compared to ISFJs.
Yeah, that would agree. But I think INFJs are definitely in human
Human
radar.
radar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think with the INFJ, I mean, it's their critic is a little bit worse because it's future oriented, right? while like
Yeah.
the ISFJs is like based off of their own experiences of what they've been through.
Hmm.
So they can perceive it like with the FI critic like a negative future. And it's like, oh, I should just kill myself. And it's like, whoa, 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 bro, whoa, whoa, slow down here, buddy. Slow down here. Kurt
Yeah.
Cobain, slow down. So we're putting INFJ here at the top as well. We'll switch them
Okay.
around
Yeah,
eventually.
I think we'll do. I think we'll refine that a little bit, but
Yeah, yeah.
I guess next is for the brain dead is just let's just get this over with. INTP. It's easy.
Well, you know they're gonna
They're
be mad
emotional.
with you, man. They're gonna be mad with you, bro.
So I've
Yeah, I mean,
gotten.
I guess that's fair, Zara. That's fair. I was gonna debate it, but I think that's fair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they just don't.
They're at the bottom.
At least they're not whales. They're not whales though.
No, they're
So,
not
they're
whales.
not
No.
whales. I didn't say whales. I said emotionally brain dead. That's a
so,
fact.
so
SE trickster and FE inferior has gotten them into some dark ditches. It
yeah,
gets them into some bad pits. Yeah, they're emotionally trash.
yeah. I
They
think
with their own emotions, they don't even know what they value, and on top of it, they don't know how to regulate the outer world or the
Oh
emotional
yeah,
environment or read
terrible.
it. They're terrible.
yeah.
So yeah, it's complete garbage. I'm just stating.
Hey, the way Sar just gave his breakdown is like, damn, we should move down there to whale shit.
It's
Uh,
scathing criticism of the INTP. But well, we could segue this into the next type potentially, but compared to the ISTP, like Mercer and I talked about before, I think they're going to have the edge on ISTPs, perhaps just
Oh,
because
ISTPs is more mid, I would say.
you said
mid.
me?
You think they'll read the
Yeah,
room?
I think they can do it more
Really?
with their SE. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think they're more
yeah,
mid tier.
yeah,
Well, I think you have a good point.
No,
I
like
would,
lower mid. I said
yeah,
lower mid tier, but
okay,
they're more
we can,
mid tier. They're not.
because they have the
They're not
SC.
emotional. Yeah,
Yeah,
FESC kind of connects them to the emotional environment better. They see the
the
yeah,
landscape.
yeah.
the one thing I would say that INTPs have the edge, at least just when it comes to predict. I think when it comes to predicting second and third order
Mhm.
consequences, like in terms of people's reactions.
Yeah,
Whereas in the moment, ISTPs are without question going to be better. But I think
yeah,
INTPs are going to be better at saying like, okay, this nothing good is going to come from this. I've heard them say this before. Like they could
yeah.
just say like, yeah, you just don't want to say this because this is just going to have bad consequences. ISTPs, they're not going to. I don't think they're going to understand that as well.
Yeah.
Um,
No, no. But they're more in tune with the
So
emotional
yeah,
environment landscape quicker.
what I
Like in
would
the
say
moment.
the difference between I think from the INTP and the ISTP is the INTP is more of a loner.
yeah,
Even
Yeah,
though the ISTP is a loner, it's not a loner like the INTP, and the INTP just like limits the human react interactions
yeah,
so much that it actually
it
hurts them.
dampens their
I
skills. It
think they would
dampens it.
be can read the room if they actually got out and actually been around people,
yeah.
but because they don't do that, it actually hurts them quite bad. While the ISTP is an SE user, so that they're more out like interacting with people a little bit more. So they pick up on that a lot better. I think the INTP has a higher capability if they develop their FE than the ISTP because of all of the other factors
Hmm.
with it. But the thing is like most of them just don't deal with enough interactions to get there. So on
Yeah.
average here, we have to give it to the ISTP.
And I think also INTPs being intellectual and having SE trickster and being loners, like they're just not grounded enough in reality a lot of the time.
Yeah, yeah, especially your average INTP. Again, we're
Exactly.
taking
Yeah.
averages.
We're not talking
We're
about like
not.
Jordan Peterson here. We're
Yeah,
talking about your average
average.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The gamer nerd in the basement, haven't left the house at 30. All right, guys. So let's just
Okay.
take a the ESTP. Where you guys want to put the ESTP?
ESTP.
Say read the room.
Um. Yeah. Read the
Say read
room.
the room.
Yeah,
They're not brain
They're
dead.
higher than ISTP. They're
yeah,
higher than
Yeah, for
ISTP.
sure.
yeah. I think
Yeah. SC with FE child helps them
Yeah,
a bit
yeah,
more, and they can
extroverted.
read
Yeah.
the room. They can read the room much quicker than an ISTP. and they're more but I don't think they perceive the future consequences
Yeah.
as well. But again, they're good in the moment with it. They know how to interact with people in the short term, but long term consequences of their actions, not so much.
Terrible, terrible.
They're
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
absolute
I
garbage.
I would say that they're when it comes to actually reading people and reading the room, they're probably actually one of the best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But just according to other metrics, like they're either mediocre or
Even
terrible.
their emotional stability is
Regulation,
garbage. Yeah, their
emotional
emotional
regulation is awful, probably one of the worst.
garbage.
Um,
Garbage.
they
Just
they get they don't realize how emotional they get, and like they will once that switch flips, they will fucking have a complete emotional meltdown and
Yes.
say all kinds of horrible shit about
Mm-hmm.
somebody that you
Mm-hmm.
like shit you should just never say. And then they'll snap back to reality and it's like, oh shit, I shouldn't have said all that. And then they want to apologize their way out of it. But it's
Mm-hmm.
not
and
something that just happens.
not even that. So a lot of times they'll just try to buy you favors. Like they'll just do something really nice and they'll
They
try
do.
to assuage it by that.
Well, it's like, oh, I was nice to you, so you should give me attention and validation. It's like it's their covert
Yeah.
contract. And
Yeah.
if you give them attention and validation constantly, they'll love you. But if you don't, or if you're not reacting the way they want you to react, instead of taking responsibility for their potentially bad behavior, they're going to blame you for it. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
you should react the way I want you to react. Because also with any demon, they're not really considering other people like what other people want. They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I also will say that a lot of times what they do is they'll just try to do something overtly nice that sways the bell curve, that sways it
Yeah.
in the complete opposite direction. They rarely apologize. I'm not gonna get
Um.
into this further.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I think they're a lot two-faced. I think a lot of thing
Sure.
about ESTPs is they're fucking two-faced as fuck.
I think
Like,
so.
they
Yeah.
could be talking
Yeah.
shit about you, and then when
And
they
then
see
nice. Yeah.
you, they're fucking bigging you up with FE child, like there's
Exactly.
nothing going
Yeah,
on,
that's true too.
and it's fucking annoying as fuck. You'll see. I think Russell Westbrook was complaining about LeBron James doing the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Being
exactly.
super nice, but then like really pulling strings behind the scenes, being a I ain't gonna say it. Goddamn, I almost said it. Like, let me not say it. I'm down here in whale shit when it comes to EQ and what I say. So let me just chill the fuck out. But yeah, they can
All
be,
right.
they can do a whole bunch of backwards comments. I mean, where they
Backhanded. Yeah.
backhanded, like
Backhanded. Yeah.
they say that shit, and
Okay.
it's just kind of funny. They big you up to tear you down type shit. And that leads me into the next one, the ENTP. Where we guys we putting him?
I, I
They're slightly ahead of ESTP.
I would agree with that.
I don't think they're emotionally calibrated. They're a mess internally. FI tricksters got them into some weird loops.
Czar's ripping them today, huh?
Oh, you think they're worse than ESTP actually?
No, I think they're slightly ahead of ESTP.
Oh,
I think
oh
you
okay.
get a
They're
All right.
meltdown.
FI tricksters, but
Okay.
their internal emotions, they're completely unregulated. But they can read people. They could project out into the future for future
Yeah.
consequences. They're good at reading people in the moment as well. So based on that criterion, they're slightly ahead of the ESTP.
Yeah.
And I think they have a lot in common with like the way that FE child works. Like
Yes.
like I think FE child can be very manipulative, and
Hmm.
they can sort of do the same thing as ESTPs in terms of like they know how to like butter you up. And
Yeah.
also, I find that like ESTPs, I think they can be pretty two-faced. Although I think, in my opinion, I think ESTPs are actually worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
They are.
Mercer would know ENTPs better, so maybe he can add to this. But that's just my take.
Yeah. I think ENTPs are very good at reading the room.
Yeah.
I think the thing about ENTPs is it's very easy to make them crash the fuck out. Like if you want
Hmm.
to make them crash the fuck out, it is so fucking easy. They just do not read their emotional where they're at their emotion level. They just don't even fucking see it, and before you know it, they've crashed the fuck out.
They blow
So
up
like
before they realize they're about to blow up.
like they just don't even realize it. Like if you like
They
bug
don't.
them enough
They
or
have no
like
emotional gauge. They
you
have
know
no
s-
gauge.
say something nasty about them and just watch how they react and stuff like that, man. I swear you can like if you want to be like you want to get a video where you get somebody crashing out. It's pretty easy to get an ENTP to do that. Uh,
Kanye and
I mean Kanye, you see it like so much, and I think that guy Tarantino is another one. I mean Jesus Christ,
Andrew Tate.
crash out. Like, I think
Yeah.
Eddie Tate does a better job with it. But
He does crash out. Like I've seen if he's losing a debate, he starts crashing out. Like it's kind of hilarious.
like sometimes you
Yeah.
just, facts don't give a fuck about your feelings. They like to say that, but boy, they feelings be hurt. Okay.
Hmm. I
Hmm.
don't
Um,
think they realize it.
they're very good at like manipulating people with FE and getting what they want. They know how to like smooth you through a maze
Oh,
with
for
NE.
sure.
That they'll run you through a maze where you don't even know where they got you going, okay? But you really going where they want you to go, right? Even though you guys will be like, well, the NIUs, no. They'll put you in a maze and you'll go up, down, left, right, up, down, up, and then boom, right to what they want you to go at the end of the day. They're very good at that because of NE and FE. So,
Yeah.
but
And
the other aspects hurt them.
yeah, like you're saying, when it comes to manipulating people, they're probably the absolute best. With it
Yeah,
with any hero FE child,
yeah.
just seeing possibilities and like pretty much like you said, just having people go in the direction that they want to go so that they can get what they want.
And
Um,
that tailors me into my next thought here. We may have to do the most manipulative MBTI types. That would be fun.
oh, yeah, that might be a good one.
That would be a good one. That would be fucking fun. All right, guys. So where are we going next, Zara?
Uh, yeah, I want to find another trash one. Um,
Not too
yeah,
hard.
yeah. I
ISTJ.
mean, ISTJ is pretty brain dead with it, but they're they're ahead of
I'd say
INTJ,
yeah, they're on
and it's
the upper end of brain dead, right?
they're
Yeah.
upper end. Yeah, they're in the upper echelon of brain dead.
All right. So Z, break down why you got them in mostly brain dead.
Okay, so it's kind of obvious FE trickster again, but they're a little more calibrated to to the social milieu like this, and they're more internally stable. But yeah, they don't read other people. I think they're more about their routines. They can negate other people's feelings. I don't think they're really that into the social temperature, and yeah, it's kind of just obvious at this point.
Yeah, I think they also get very outdated a lot of times with
Hmm.
SI.
Hmm.
That
Yeah,
they're not up to the current like stuff.
yeah,
So
they're
that hurts
not.
them as well.
Yeah,
Like you think about Ben Shapiro, it's like, you know,
yeah.
he's not that, but they do better than the NTJs because
For
they're
sure.
affiliative,
Yeah,
right? They're affiliative.
yeah,
But guys, if you're just watching this and you're a new watcher, when we talk about the trickster, that's the seventh spot. We follow the eight function model. So if we're talking about the trickster, that's the seventh spot. It's usually the lowest awareness of a function.
yeah. I
So that's
again, like I'm not trying to be scathing here, but yeah, I don't think they're emotionally attuned, but I don't think they're gonna be insulting people constantly. I think that they're outdated norms
hmm
for what they find to be normal or their routine or tradition gets way outdated, and then they will make a lot of social blunders due to that, and
For
yeah,
sure.
they don't read the current environment.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And
yeah,
can I just add maybe a couple things?
Go for it.
go for it.
So yeah, like you just said, I agree. Like in general, from what I've noticed, like my father was one. I've known a bunch of them. Yeah, in general, it's more like social blunders, less about like offending people. And also with the SI, I think they're better than INTJs when it comes to actually learning their faux pas. But what's kind of interesting is I've noticed like some ISTJs who like they're FE tricksters. Like it seems it's like in some ways it's worse than INTJs. Not like in the offending people sense of it, but just like not being able to read the room and like laughing at their own jokes, but no one else is laughing at their jokes. Like I've
Yeah,
noticed stuff like that. So I mean, that's a perfect example. Like they're not in tune with their environment, and yeah, that they don't know that they're not in tune with their environment. But I
or
will say
busted ass.
I will say that like INTJs and well, all TJs in general, they don't necessarily take people's feelings into consideration when they make decisions.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And one thing I would say about my father is he could say things that were insensitive, and what FE Trickster will do often is they'll say things that are insensitive. They don't realize they're saying something that's insensitive, and if you have a negative reaction to it, they'll just they just think that you're being a pussy, or they think that you're just overly sensitive. Essentially,
Mhm.
is
hmm,
something I have noticed sometimes.
Yeah, they're quick to write you off. Like
Yeah,
like you're being like over dramatic or it wasn't that big of a deal. But,
exactly. Yeah,
but
but
generally. generally like FE tricksters aren't aware. And sometimes if you bring it to the awareness of a ITJ, they'll be like, "Oh shit, I didn't know," you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you know, and if it's a egregious enough to which situation and the data supports your claim, let me say it again, the data supports your claim because you can't walk up to them and the data not support the claim because once they look at it and the data does not support you, you're cooked. Like they don't care how
Facts
you
don't care
feel.
about your feelings. Ben Shapiro.
Right.
And
So
it's actually, and what Ben Shapiro is actually saying is FE Trickster doesn't care about your feelings. That's really what he's saying.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. By the way, you need I need data for this.
Give me my
Wow.
TE data. All right, so what we put in ESTJ, guys?
I think read the room.
ES yeah, ESTJ, yeah.
I,
Read the room.
I
They're
think
higher.
like out of the TJs, the types with the lowest FE, I think they're I'd say they're the best at reading the room, and they're the best emotional calibration.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I think they're better than ISTP.
I think so.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, honestly,
they might be better than the goddamn ESTP.
ESTP. uh,
Put him
In
ahead of
many ways they are.
ESTP. Put him ahead of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Put it ahead of
Because
ESTP.
they have this perfect ideal image that the ESTJ has become this ideal image that's perfect, that valedictorian type thing, that perfect quarterback type thing, and they really live up to that, right? So they're more in tune to it, and since they're always in leadership positions, they're always around people, so they take on a lot of people, so they actually learn quite a bit, and then
Yeah.
they're feeling that they want to do what's best for the community and the
Yep.
collective.
Exactly.
So they actually do pretty fucking good, even though they have FE demon, right? And how that works is like they could just like if it means the TE needs to get done, you will see a part of them that's like, they're not willing to budge on it if it's in the TE, right? Um, or the system. Like if the system needs to be implemented and like, maybe it could hurt somebody, but like it's got the impact that they desire or the outcome that they want, it's coming in. It's coming in,
Yeah.
right?
I
If they
do I want to throw a wild card. I want to put ISFP in the mid range.
you want mid, you think they just can read the room?
They can just read the room
I,
because their NE is such trash and they don't consider other people's perspectives.
and they have poor emotional
Yeah, and
regulation.
emotional regulation.
Probably one of the
They're
worst
pretty
actually.
bad.
So
They're
where y'all want to put
probably
them?
it made nearly emotionally brain dead.
You
I
think
don't know if it's
so?
called.
You
I
think they're
think
worse than
they're
ISTP and ESTP?
it's a close contest. They're they're really reactive though.
They are.
Super
Yeah,
reactive.
very sensitive. I do think they're pretty good at like reading the room, gauging the temperature. But I mean
Sometimes.
I agree with your other points though. Um, but you know what? You actually you might have a good point though because I think that they could be so wrapped up in their own FI that it kind of blinds them to a lot of things, and also with their
Yeah.
low NI, low NE. So I think you actually might have a good point.
I think they're
Yeah, I
deep
think
down. I think they're very caring, though. I would
They
say
are.
they're
they
They
are
caring.
are.
there's a difference, but we're going by your
Yeah,
criterion.
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
not let's go back to the criteria. We
I
I
mean that's fair. I do think that they're very prone to crashing out.
yeah,
If you make them
that's
feel a
not
certain way, they're gonna like
that's not emotional intelligence.
Yeah,
I'm just
you have a point.
that's not
they will
emotional
crash out,
intelligence. Like,
bro.
what do you want me to tell you?
They crash out so bad you would think they're ESFP. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
seriously.
they're
Well,
they're nearly whale shit. I in my mind, but
well, which
but to be objective here, yeah, they're not whale shit, but they know their own values, but they project them out so much further than the INFPs, for example. They believe that their internal values are king, and they disregard other people. They're kind of, I think, frankly, narcissistic and solipsistic creatures, to be honest.
Zara's cooking today.
Yeah, he's going all the way in. Yeah, I think for the INFPs, ISFPs, they don't have the NE and they're way more reactive. If you upset them,
For sure.
they're most likely to crash the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like the girl who like beats the shit out of her boyfriend, probably
Yeah.
ISFP, man.
Yeah. They may as well be ESFPs at this
What,
point,
what is it, like
honestly.
bad baby or whatever her name is? Like how many
Yeah.
Yeah.
she has
And
so many crash out moments over like
and then
love. It's
you
usually love though. Like they get in an argument with their boyfriends or something, and they're usually
mhm.
like fucking crazy about that shit. Or they're
and then
always in
they
some
and
type
then
of
they
drama.
and then they bring everyone else into it, and then they call everyone and get everyone's fucking opinion about it, and then it creates a even worse problem
Yeah,
most of the time.
I think you're right there. Yeah, yeah. I ain't gonna lie. I think you're right.
They're
They do that. They bring everybody else into their drama, asking everybody their opinions. Is they wrong? Blah blah blah. Even if they're wrong, they're not gonna change, how they
Yeah,
feel. So
they
it's
just
almost
want
like they're asking for
validation.
no
They
reason.
want their FI to be validated. They don't want your actual opinion. They want
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
to
Side
they
with
want
them.
you to brown nose and tell them a good story about how they're right. They don't care about it objectively.
Yeah.
They they it's all about catering to my feelings. You didn't make me. You said it this way. It's like, no, you were in the wrong. You were no, you fucked up. Like that's yeah, so it's pretty bad.
Okay.
Anyhow, yeah, they're pretty garbage in
Yeah.
that vector.
What about
What else
ESFP?
is on this list?
Yes.
ESFP?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're I put them in brain dead.
Brain dead?
Yeah.
I wouldn't put them in brain dead. I
I
think
think
they're
they can read the rooms, all
I
right.
think they're fair. They're fairly. I think they're fairly equal to ISFPs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In some ways, they're a little bit better. In some ways, they're a little bit worse. I think.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
might.
but
I think I.
they're just so fucking reactive though. They don't
They are.
they can't regulate themselves.
Yeah.
They.
That's my biggest critique. Is they're just so they just blow up. They're just ticking time bombs.
They
Like
can
I
be.
don't see that as calibrated. I mean, yeah, they have higher FI. They know how they feel, but it's always fluctuating because they have no sense. They don't they're not grounded towards any future consequence. They don't care. It's all about how I feel in the moment.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's all true.
Yeah. But they can't read the room. I'll say they can't read the
Yeah,
I
room.
they
think
can.
they can read it. Yeah,
They can
but
read
They
the
can
room.
read the room.
what
I
Zara was
guess,
saying
yeah.
was right though.
Yeah.
Um,
But it's
But they're
always it's so much more about me. Like they'll read the
yeah,
room, but
me,
it's
me, me,
it's
me.
about
about
them.
me. Like it's about me. Like I'm gonna read the room as long as it's about me.
Yeah, that's why it's nearly brain dead. Like I it, there's no regulation with them. Their FI is horrendous. They may as well just be in the trickster slot. I mean, yes, um,
They're gonna react. Like they're going to react.
most of
Uh,
I'm
Yeah,
talking
like
about the like if there's a bell curve, imagine a bell curve. The average one it is completely volatile. Like if there was a VIX indicator, it'd be at 30 all the time.
yeah. I
And
mean,
I'd say that as far as what Zara said about ISFPs, a lot of it's the same for ESFPs, where like they just want their feelings validated.
mhm.
Yeah.
I think they are pretty good at reading other people, but at the end of the day, they just care about their own feelings and their own values.
They're good
If
at
it
What I
were
reading
have,
me
people,
ranking
good at
them,
manipulating
it
people.
yeah, if it were me, it would be brain dead. But, for the sake of this video,
we could talk about it at the end
Yeah.
maybe.
yeah.
But what I have noticed about them is that their TE child is super sensitive. So if somebody's talking about them behind their back, they will they will flip. That's
Yeah.
something that I've noticed about them. But then what hypocritically, they're one of the types that I think is most likely to talk shit about people behind their
Yes.
back.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
agree with all those points.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that they
I
can
wouldn't
read
say
the
that it's the
room.
T
They can
child that's
read, yeah.
sensitive. It's the FI parent that's sensitive because T
well, I think
about
people
fucking P.
sabotaging their reputation, then their feelings get hurt. I guess is I think how I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
more FI because it's more like their own harmony
Their image.
or how they feel
Their
about
image.
themselves. So I think
It's
but
you're
all
probably
about the
looking at.
fucking image.
I think that like with introverts with TE, like they might be annoyed that people are talking bad about them behind their back, but they're not going to explode. I think they're going to more likely just kind of like is they're going to keep it to themselves. I think with
Yeah.
Mhm.
ENTJs and ESFPs, they're more likely to be like they're gonna start like flipping out over it.
Yeah, yeah.
They're gonna be external about it.
So
Yeah,
you're proving my
I think
point.
like for the ISFP, they'll just keep taking it on until they can't take it on anymore, and then they'll just explode. Like that
Yeah.
Right.
one boy Roger Jackson, he's taking on all that shit. People talking shit about him. Like, oh, you let that guy Psycho Stu do this. And it's in there. He's not reacting right now because they're very reflective people. But eventually they react, and when they explode, it's fucking nuclear. While
Hmm.
ESFP just exploding on everything, like blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah blah. So
Mm-hmm.
all right. So
Let's
where are we going with the ENFP?
I
ENFP. I think they're near. If
calibrated.
they're pretty calibrated.
I
I would
think they're
even.
yeah.
Yeah, they're calibrated. I don't know about human radar. No, but
No.
they're pretty high up on the emotionally calibrated side of
Yeah.
things.
I
Yeah.
think reading people they're great at. Emotional regulation, not very good at, because
Yeah.
they are going to
Yeah.
have some similarities with the ESFP when it comes to like their emotional regulation. I find that, yeah, they're almost like ESTPs. Like when that switch flips, they can flip the fuck out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think yeah, when it comes to reading people, understanding people, accepting people, reading like I think they're generally pretty good at reading the room.
Yeah.
They're not as good as a bunch of these other types though. I think because of SE Demon, I think it kind of it holds them back. But because they have the high NE again they can kind of see second and third order consequences very well.
Yeah. I think when you're looking at all of those factors, the second order, third order, their own internal authenticity, like
Understanding their
other
feelings and yeah.
understanding other people's feelings I think they're all like really higher up, and then they got the reactivity of the other stuff that's like mid range.
Hmm.
I'd say probably a three or something because they can be a little bit more reactive if you're making them feel bad.
Hmm.
Generally speaking, I've noticed when I'm around ENFP women is that they're always flipping everything to make themselves feel good. Like
Yeah.
Hmm.
I could say like, oh, I brought this toothbrush, and they're like, you bought this toothbrush for me? Like or like, like that type of thing. Like, oh, you really miss me or something like they're always trying to flip something to make themselves feel better. Um it's
Enneagram 7 shit.
yeah, they gonna flip some shit to make themselves feel better. Like it's just all day, every day. Like they need to feel good about themselves. Like
Hmm.
I'm gonna feel good. So they could be part of the me club first. Like it's the me first, and then everybody else second.
Hmm.
But they typically can regulate themselves, but they also can see other people's perspectives, and that's
Yeah,
For
why
sure.
they're high. But they
Yeah.
do blow up.
yeah, they do have that
They're
me.
yeah, they're a
Um,
little bit solipsistic.
yeah. So where we put in the ENFJ?
ENFJ, I mean they're higher than ENFP, but would I put them in human radar? I mean,
I I think
there's an argument for it, but
I think
I
yeah, I
think
think
that
yeah.
Go for it, T.
Well, I think that yeah, there is an argument for human radar because I think when it comes to reading people and reading the room, they might actually be the absolute best with
Mm-hmm.
FE hero, SE child. When it comes to reading the room, when it comes to making people feel good, understanding people's feelings, so on and so forth. Yeah, they're among the best, if not the absolute best.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to, I think, emotional reaction or emotional reactivity, probably not as good as the INFP and the INFJ. But absolutely, I'd say better than the ENFP, probably on almost all the metrics.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, yeah. I would say that they do pretty well, and they're not that reactive.
no, I don't think so.
Unless you're like really like violating some very bad social norm to hurt other people. Then you will see
Mhm.
that like that very nice bear turned into a monster grizzly bear. Like if I'm with Jerry and like let's say like you could probably like kick Jerry in the back of the leg or something, he probably won't do nothing to you. But if like you take something from me, then he's in fucking rage, okay? Like he's in
Hmm.
fucking rage. And I'm like, damn, but you care about this shit more than I do. Shit, god damn. So like he's the first person, no, don't let that person, like, he's more likely to stand up for other people.
Mhm.
Um, but the thing that I think that hurts them is understanding um,
Your
their
own.
own authenticity, their own inner work. I think that they can be so much people pleasing that they miss that. And because they don't have the NE, I think the NE would help them do better with it. Uh, because the NI and the SE is gonna be a little bit more closed off.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think they're gonna struggle a little bit more to develop their own values, but they're going to develop those over time with their opposing. But I think that would separate them. I mean, we probably could put them in human radar.
I think we should. I think we should put them on
Yeah,
Yeah,
third.
it's human radar.
Yeah, I think so.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, I think especially seeing like the last two types we have, I think that probably makes more sense.
yeah, yeah. So what do we think about ISFJ?
Um, Probably slightly ahead of ENFP, but not like by a wide margin.
Yeah, I noticed the difference between them is like their FE and shit is very systematic.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not as like an ENFJ, INFJ, or INFP where they're just pouring all of this into you to make you a better person in the future. It's more
Like,
like how can I accommodate you right now with supplies, food, like all this other shit. Like how can I do that right now for you? They're more individual, but like I said, it comes from a systematic point of view, which could be a little bit more colder, right?
Mm-hmm.
The
yeah.
EFs are more about individual attention, because it's interest based or particularism,
Hmm.
while they're systematic, right? But they
Yeah.
can read the room very well. They do care about how everybody else feels. They're not very reactive or volatile. So and then they have FI critics, so they're pretty much pretty good. Um, yeah,
Well, they manage their FI critic, but I'd say a lot better than INFJs
yeah.
in general, I think.
Yeah, INFJs can have really, really bad self-worth issues. Like I don't really hear the ISFJ dropping their self-worth issues as much as the INFJ. Like I think I sent it to Zar. Zar, did I send it to you? That clip of the INFJ woman. Like they were watching it and she was just breaking down because like she wanted to wait to marriage, but the guy she was dating when she had to straight up tell him that. And then she was like, well, I don't think maybe I'm worthy enough for him to wait around for that.
Yeah,
And
that's
stuff
their
like that.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah, and
not
I
being
was
worthy
like,
enough.
oh my God. And she was actually very good looking, like a very good looking woman. But then she's like questioning her like worth and all this other shit. And I'm like, damn girl, I'm about to cry for you shit. And my FE is terrible.
Hmm.
It's just
Yeah.
just to see somebody just like question who they are so bad when it's like, damn girl, you look good, but I mean, it is 2025. Like you telling the guy he got to wait to marriage. I don't know how
No, no,
well
no.
that's gonna work.
Better join the
How
church.
well that's gonna work, But yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
where we putting ESFJ guys?
But I would say
Uh,
probably top of emotionally calibrated, in my opinion.
yeah.
I'd say they're definitely better than ISFJ and ENFP. But there are also some drawbacks of from the type.
Okay, what
Um,
what were the drawbacks, T?
Well, what I find with them is I think when it comes to like reading the room, understanding people's feelings and so forth, yeah, they're probably one of the best. They're very good. But we didn't really get into this with the ENFJ, but what I find with the FE heroes, especially um, uh, FE parent, like with the ISFJ, I think they're more subtle when it comes to like managing other people's feelings or judging other people. Like I noticed like with an ISFJ, they'll notice that they'll notice that I'm kind of like I'm using poor FE and like they'll try to like gently kind of like mold me with the FE heroes, but specifically talking about the ESFJ, I find that they can be very judgmental and it's kind of like very harsh about when it comes to like implementing their own FE, probably because it's related to their SI and like related to like SI and traditions, so on and so forth. And I also find, I've known, quite a few of them. I find that sometimes they can be very callous, actually, but I don't think you see that with the ENFJ, and I don't think you really see that with the ISFJ as much. I find that they can be pretty judgmental and pretty callous, in in kind of a unique way. Like they could be very
Mm-hmm.
sarcastic in terms of how they talk about other people. My brother-in-law he's a detective, and like he'll talk about criminals like just like they're savages. Like there's no I think when it violates their FE, like in their SI, it's like they don't have any empathy. Like I guess that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is like you would think with the high FE that they're empathetic, but I think they're more like particular about their empathy. Whereas
Systematic
I
with
think
it.
yeah, well yeah, that's probably a better way to put it. Where ENFJs, INFJs, I think they try to like everybody, they try to treat everybody nice. The ESFJ, not so much in my opinion.
The thing that I hate about ESTJs is they gossip so goddamn much. They're always
That's
some effy shit and
that's a
they're
big one.
always gossiping and shit. God
Yeah,
damn. They're always gossiping. But they are more attuned to like the surroundings. They're gonna get more reps with people. Um, but I mean, I think ISFJ, I think I would put ISFJ above them.
bro, really.
Yeah, because
Hmm.
I think when you look at it, they're more gossiping, they're more
I
uh
have an
the
I have
FI
another
critic
wild card.
also for the ISFJ would make them stronger with their own internal values, while the ESFJ is kind of like
That's a good point.
mopping
Yeah.
up mopping
Yeah, I
up
have
other
another.
people's shit. Um Also like, being a starter.
Mhm. I got another wild card for you. I think
What's up?
ESTJ goes in front of ENTP. They're more they're more
Woo!
calm.
I think that's valid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and an SC demon with ENTP, man, they don't care about the experiences they give other people. You
Mhm.
can't put them ahead of ESTJ. ESTJ
Yeah.
wants to manage that.
So would you
And
put ESTP in front of ENTP?
yeah,
Yeah, I
go
think
for it.
so. Better, more
Yeah,
emotionally calibrated. That they're affiliative. They're not pragmatic. Oh, you said ESTP.
ESTP, which
yeah,
one you thinking?
Oh, no, I don't. I don't think I agree with that.
Okay.
eh,
I mean, you
I
would
don't
know
know.
ENTPs better than me, but I think I personally I think ESTPs are they're pretty terrible. On a lot of metrics.
Well, I think it's kind of weird because I think ENTPs can be it's that SC demon just don't give a fuck about other
Uh,
people's experiences and being
yeah, and
pragmatic.
making
They could be
making people
fucking
comfortable.
edge lords like a motherfucker. Um,
Yeah, I think they're like honestly, they're kind of with the ISFPs and ESFPs. They're kind of in that range, to
they're
be
they
honest.
I think ESTP is less likely to explode on a person, honestly.
Yeah,
I think you got to do a little bit more, but I think, bro, it's not hard to get an ENTP to blow up. It's really not hard.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
You have a point.
Some ENTPs are pretty. I don't know. Some ESTPs are very confrontational out the gate. They're always like broody and always. I don't know. It's pretty neck and neck. I just think
I think
ENTPs
ESTPs.
are just more. I just think ENTPs are more effeminate. They're more bitchy.
Well, I would say the thing about them is the FI trickster for an ENTP is attached to NE, so it's exploring
Hmm.
all these emotions, while the ESTP is concrete and they use SE and they have FI trickster, so it's less exploratory with all of
Yeah,
those feelings. So I would actually say like it's a lot harder to get an ESTP to explode on you than an ENTP.
yeah,
I think
but I
ENTP
think
is
they're
pretty damn
still
easy.
ahead. Yeah, they're still. I don't know. I still think ISTP is ahead of ISFP, but I
You
don't
said
know.
what? Which one?
I think
ISTP
I think ISTP goes ahead of ISFP personally. They
You think so?
yeah, because I
on
think they
certain
actually
metrics.
care about on certain metrics.
They're definitely better. Like reading the room.
Yeah,
When it comes to
they actually
understanding
yeah
their own feelings, not as good. But yeah, when it comes to reading the room and yeah, probably some of the other metrics a lot better.
All right, let's start from
social
the top. Let's
caliber.
start from the top. So, are we good with INFP being first?
I think
Taking
so.
taking the cake.
Yeah,
INFJ
that's fine.
second.
Yes,
ENFJ
I
third.
don't think yes,
ISFJ leading the emotionally calibrated. How do you
sure.
feel about
I think that's
That
right.
works. I think
that?
that's about right.
ESFJ second.
Yes,
ENFP third. Okay, so
yes,
this is
that's
the
solid.
this is the tough one here. So can you read the room? So we put ESTJ first in that one.
I agree. I
Okay.
Yeah,
think that's fair.
What about ESTP second? What are we thinking about that? Should we move anything around? We good?
I think yeah, we're good there.
ENTP third. Should we move them around? What are we thinking?
I mean, I think the thing I'm thinking is ISTP probably ahead of ENTP.
You think so?
Yeah.
I,
Oof.
well, they probably I think they have better emotional regulation, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably
Yeah,
They're
that's
true.
what I'm
probably
saying. They're very
yeah.
I'm talking because a lot of these types were even ISTP ahead of ESTP because I mean they don't explode as much.
But
They don't they're
I think
I'm
when it
looking at explosion, but also at the same time ESTPs on some extent can see the media environment better. So it depends what we're weighing.
I think their FE is better. I think that's kind of
Yeah.
what I'm looking
Yeah.
at. I think they're better
Yeah.
at reading the room. They're more social, and I think they're better at understanding how people are feeling, and also like on some level being able to manipulate that for good or bad. Um,
Ugh,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I think ENTP with the just giving people a bad experience, kind of like, holy shit.
Yeah, that pushes them down, but I think in terms of how it's currently playing out, you have ESTP eighth, ISTP ninth, so they're like right dead in the middle. So I think that kind of works out
Yeah.
where we're putting them.
Do we want
Yeah.
ESFP and ISFP? Do we want to flip them or we want to keep them where they are?
Yeah, I think ESFP is worse.
Yeah, okay, okay,
I think that's fair.
okay, okay.
Because they're less reflective.
Yeah,
That's the
That's true.
difference.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Um,
then the rest of this list is fine.
yeah.
It
So then we
looks
have
perfect.
emotionally brain dead. We have the ISTJ, then the INTP, then we have the well shit ENTJ, and then INTJ. See, guys, this one's fun, man. I mean, like we didn't know how this was gonna go out because you guys know that me, Thomas, and Zara are well shit at this. So we had to come up with the criteria and all this to make sure we got this. While like when we're talking about intellectual shit, it was pretty easy for us to kind of, you know, put
Parts.
that down. This is a fun one. What I learned here is that there's a lot of types that are very volatile. The ISFP, the ESFP, the ENTP. I would say less of the ESTP, but those three, man, woo! And ENTJ, I think INTJ can blow up on you, but like they're gonna do some shady shit behind the scenes to pull the strings behind it instead of
Hmm.
like blowing up on you right then and there. Like the
They're
Hmm.
not
ENTJ,
explosive.
ENTJ gonna blow up on you right then and there. ESTP gonna blow up on you right then and there. ENTP, fucking ISFP, ESFP, INTP not, ISTJ is not. INTJ, it depends. It could be either or, but generally speaking, they're gonna start pulling calculations to get you back. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I
So
think that list. I think it's fairly decent.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And comment below, guys, if you agree with what we put everything, and would you change anything around? And if you think we got it wrong, let us know, man. We don't fucking care. And comment below a tier list you would want us to do. As you guys know, we bring in depth typology into this. We use the eight function model, John Beebe, Linda Barron's interaction styles and temperament, which is way more accurate than the four-letter MBTI. If you guys are new viewers here, okay. Z and T, anything y'all want to say before we head out?
Yep.
This was fun. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, guys. We'll catch you
Stay
guys in the
tuned.
next
Stay tuned for the next tier list.
one.